The Seattle Seahawks have definitely had an eventful last 48 hours. First, we found out they would be sending Geno Smith to the Raiders and DK Metcalf to the Steelers. And with that, we knew they would be searching for a new QB, and they answered that question before the headlines even had a chance to get going. The Seahawks have brought in Sam Darnold on a huge 3-year deal, and I have seen a ton of mixed opinions about this move, but one thing is safe to say. The NFL offseason is as crazy as it's ever been, and the way so many players change teams every year, it's almost like a show of its own. So in this video, I want to talk about the Seahawks' new direction after all the trades they made and the Sam Darnold signing, and also anything new going on with this team. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. So Sam Darnold last season with the Vikings threw for just over 4,300 yards with a 35-12 touchdown to interception ratio. And out of nowhere, he really became one of the best quarterbacks in the league statistically. He did of course have that stinker playoff game, but overall it was a good season. But now the question becomes, did the Seahawks give him too big of a deal too early? Is a 1-year sample size enough proof that he is going to be a great QB the rest of his career? Because one season wonders are a real thing. Well, I guess that question is going to be answered very quickly. But even still, I cannot believe that we are in the state of the NFL where Sam Darnold gets $30 million dumped into his hands. But hey man, the dude earned it, congrats to him. But now let's get serious, let's talk football and what is next for Seattle. So we all know that long gone are the days of Pete Carroll, and this is now Mike Macdonald's team. And the Seahawks are still trying to establish and build a new culture, and really this will be the first season where a big shift has taken place because Geno and Metcalf were coached by Carroll for a long time. So now with new personnel, Macdonald has to get things on the right track in this new era. I think Darnold was a good signing to set the team's culture because the dude is relentless. He's a fighter. His career was basically over. It was done. It was dead in the rights. And from nothing, he stayed focused and locked in. He never let his past get to him, and he built himself back up to become the player he wanted to be. And once he got a new opportunity, he shined. And I think because of how things went down in that last playoff game, I think he is going to come into 2025 with a new hunger and a chip on his shoulder, and he is going to be ready to attack this upcoming season head on with his new team. But even with signing Darnold, the Seahawks now have a lot of work to do in free agency and in the draft because there are obvious holes to fill with this roster overhaul. The Seahawks need receivers, they need guards on the offensive line, they could use help at center, and then as every team could use, you always want to touch up the defense. Starting at receiver, this is the unit that had the most change with DK Metcalf getting traded and Tyler Lockett getting released, and because of that, now they have some cap space to work with. So let's look at some scenarios. Obviously, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the wide receiver 1, and I don't think it gets more obvious than what's going on in LA with Cooper Kupp. I think he's going to be sitting right there for the taking. And I think at this point in his career, Kupp would literally be the perfect wide receiver 2, and he is starting to get a little more injury prone due to age, but still, when he's out on the field, he's a weapon, and he's super smart as well. He could make a great mentor for JSN. And I mean, if you have JSN and Kupp, that completely solves the question at receiver, because then you can cover the number 3 spot in the draft, or just by trusting in who they already have in Jake Bobo or Young, both guys who are under the age of 26 and are looking for an opportunity to play in a consistent role. In terms of the offensive line, which is the most important unit in football, we did get some news from Ian Rapp that the Seahawks have signed Josh Jones on a 1-year, $4.75 million deal, and this could be some key depth. If the name Josh Jones sounds familiar, it's probably because you guys remember the other Josh Jones, a safety who was with the team during the 2021 and 22 seasons. However, this obviously is a different Josh Jones, one who entered the NFL as a 3rd-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals in 2020, but was traded to the Houston Texans in a pick swap ahead of the 23 season, where he spent the year with former Seahawks offensive lineman George Fant. Jones signed with Baltimore in free agency ahead of the 2024 season and played 46 snaps for the Ravens this past season, while providing depth at multiple spots across the line. And then one player that has been linked to almost every team this offseason that still is available is Cam Robinson. And I think he could be the missing piece of the puzzle with this O-line. He's not a superstar, but he's a reliable lineman who played a key role in protecting Sam Darnold in Minnesota, contributing to one of his best seasons, so why not continue it in Seattle? The only problem is, the New England Patriots still have a lot of money to throw around at whoever they want, but if I'm the Seahawks, over the next few days, I would make a heavy push to get Robinson. Obviously, by the time I get this video out, he could have already signed somewhere else. That's how things seem to be going right now, but still, it's worth a shot to just put it out there. The next offensive lineman that the Vikings should try to get is Will Fries. Fries is 26 from the Indianapolis Colts and was reportedly heavily pursued into late Monday night by the Vikings, who also need guards, among multiple other teams. He broke his tibia in early October, which ended his 2024 season. If the Seahawks can sign any of these O-linemen to patch up some of the depth problems they have, I think it would go a long way in terms of getting this franchise back on track. You got Sam Darnold behind center who can throw for over 4,000 yards. You got a top weapon in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and potentially another top weapon in Cooper Kupp if things go down the way I think they will. And then you got Kenneth Walker at running back, who when healthy can be one of the best backs in the league. He has proven that. And then they have a capable backup that has proven to be pretty reliable as well. I don't really know how to feel about Noah Fant at tight end at this point. He's not someone I'm excited about, but he's also not someone that makes me nervous. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below about the way the roster is currently constructed. The Seahawks defense ranked 14th, right in the middle of the pack in terms of defense last year, and I think that creates a clear and obvious goal for 2025. Get into the top 10. That would be the improvement that you want to see, and there's a lot of talent on this defense. There really is. But that's really all I have to say about the Seahawks situation right now. So let's take a look at what some other people have had to say about the Sam Darnold signing.
Here's how Sam did in the regular season with the Vikings. Had the third best record, had the fifth most passing yards, fifth most touchdowns with 35, passer rating at 102, and he had that a ton of 100-point passer rating games. 20-yard completions, a lot of them to Justin Jefferson. He had 62 of them. That was the NFL's best. So, Brew, your reaction to Sam Darnold to the Seahawks?
Well, I don't think this changes any fortunes for Seattle, but considering the numbers, $55 million guaranteed, 3 years, $100 million, I can live with that. That's a number where you certainly can put pieces around it. They already have Jackson Smith and Jigma, pretty good running game, Kenneth Walker. So I think that's fine. I've said all along that I would not give big money. If I were another team, I would not give big money to Sam Darnold. They didn't give, relatively speaking, big money to him, but it's enough to keep him happy. It's kind of like the Baker Mayfield situation. Right. Baker had the one good year in Tampa Bay, and they rewarded him with a similar contract. So I'm fine with it because of the numbers, Nick. I'll be interested. If he has a great year this year, then I'll really be impressed and I'll start giving him some props.
That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point. And if you enjoyed it and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next. Until then, I will see you all later.